Hi guys. Welcome to Movie Outline. Today I will tell you a horror drama movie called The Jack in the Box Awakening. Prepare yourself and enjoy. At the beginning of the movie, an old woman is seen lying limp in her bed. She is Olga, a mother suffering from bone cancer. Edgar the son was also there to accompany her to make a transaction with an antique dealer named Huxley. Huxley knew that Olga had been looking for a mystical box all along, and today he brought it. Huxley confirmed that the box was a genuine item called Jack in the Box. Huxley said that getting the box was not easy because the box was related to a murder case. Then he took a cigarette from his pocket and smoked it there. Edgar asked him to smoke somewhere else, but Huxley refused. But when Olga asked him to do what Edgar said, he immediately went with the money he got from the transaction. Edgar is very annoyed at Huxley's disrespect for the host's rules, but Olga says he will get what he deserves. Then, Edgar said goodnight to Olga and left her with the box. Olga got up from her bed. She made a combination of letters in the box which produced a word, namely life. After that, she turned the pedal hard until a very scary clown doll came out. Olga just stared at it silently. Then the doll went back into the box and replaced with a living claw that came out of the box. On the stairs, Huxley just realized that his car keys were left in Olga's room, so he went back there to get them. As he was walking, he felt that someone was following him from behind. He went to check it but found no one there. Then when he was about to check a room beside him, suddenly someone attacked him in the darkness. It turned out that he was the demon that Olga ordered to kill him. Then the demon took him into an antique box that Huxley had just sold to Olga. In the morning, Edgar has a female guest who will work at his house to help him take care of Olga. Her name is Amy. Amy is very happy to be accepted to work at their home because for her it is a very interesting experience. She asked permission from Edgar to meet Olga, but Edgar did not allow it. Edgar told her that Olga couldn't be bothered as she was resting in her room. He also told Amy that Olga had bone cancer which made her feel pain with every movement. According to the doctor's words, the remaining life of Olga is only 6 months, and that was said 5 months ago. After that, Edgar took Amy to his room to discuss her work contract and the house rules. Edgar said that Amy's duties were the same as general manor maintenance, especially cleaning and ironing. He also said that Amy would be living on the first floor with her co-workers, Janet and Frank. Edgar adds that their house has strict rules, one of which is that no one is allowed out of the gate after 9 p.m. Amy agreed to abide by the rules and she signed the contract. After that, when Edgar went to Olga's room to deliver food, he was very surprised to see blood splattered on the floor. Olga said that Huxley had died by the box, because the box was made to contain demons, and by opening the box she had released the demon. If the demon can get 6 sacrifices, he will have the power to get rid of the disease that has been suffering from Olga all this time. Edgar is very confused and scared at the same time, but Olga insists that she really needs his help. She tells Edgar to restrain all their staff from leaving their house. She also asked him to bring more people because the demon still needed 5 victims. Edgar loved his mother very much and he was willing to help her, so he moved the box to the warehouse. Elsewhere, Amy meets her co-workers, Janet, who has the same task as her, and Frank, a chef. Amy told them that she wanted to use the landline to call her boyfriend because her cell phone was not getting a signal. But Frank said that there was no landline. He also tried to use his cell phone but never got a signal. Hearing that, Amy just gave up. Then she decided to join in playing chess with them. While playing chess, Amy tells a little about herself. She says that she grew up in an orphanage and she ran away from there to prove that she can live wherever she is. The night is getting late. Frank invites Janet to go to the warehouse to make out there. Frank doesn't know what Edgar has stored in the warehouse. Suddenly, Janet heard the sound of the music box ringing, which made her feel scared. Then she left, leaving Frank alone there. Curious, Frank went to check the room and found the antique box there. Suddenly, someone closed the barn door, which Frank thought was Janet's doing. Frank starts to get paranoid when strange things happen in the warehouse. Then the demon appeared and stabbed him in the back. Now he had 2 victims. In the room, Edgar was so uneasy about what he had done, he kept telling himself that he couldn't do this. Then he met Olga to talk back about this sacrifice. But when he walked into Olga's room, he saw something shocking happen instead. Now Olga has started to walk, although still using a cane. Olga knows that the demon has found a new victim. She said every time the demon got a victim, his strength would get stronger, and so did Olga. Hearing that, Edgar seemed motivated to find the next victim. He promised not to disappoint Olga and he would do whatever it took to keep her alive. That night, Edgar went to meet his girlfriend named Stacy to talk to her, because he really needed someone to share it with. But after they met, he found out that Stacy had cheated on him and he returned home. In the morning, Amy is surprised that she doesn't see Frank in the kitchen. Then Edgar showed up telling her that Frank had left the house last night. He also said that this morning he himself would make breakfast for Olga. After that, Amy went to another room to do her work. While she was cleaning, she was surprised by Janet, who suddenly appeared behind the box. Amy was very upset with Janet's behavior because she thought it was not very funny. Then she asks if Edgar has told her about Frank leaving, and Janet says no, but she knows Frank has left because she got a letter from him. Janet also tells Amy that previously she and Frank had intended to leave that place together to start a new life, but Frank left her instead. Then she left the room. Until now, Amy and Janet still don't realize what really happened in the house. The scene returns to Edgar, who is accompanying his mother for breakfast. Olga understands that he is being filled with guilt, but she says Edgar should be happy with all this miracle. Then she told Edgar about how she knew all about the box. She said that years ago she found the diary of the box's creator. He dedicated his life to studying demons, and the box was made to house the most powerful demon he has ever met, named d3mon, the demon of torment. Many have opened the box, but Olga is sure that only they can stay alive and know the true purpose of the box. That is to make one wish, a wish that was granted by the demon by giving him 6 sacrifices. Then Edgar asked why the demon had to kill, and Olga answered because by killing the demon will still control d3mon's body as its host. Hearing that, Edgar was surprised because it turned out that the demon had become a human. Olga resumed her conversation. She said that d3mon was a clown in the Victorian era. Throughout his life, he had been plagued by voices in his head telling him to kill his own family. The voices grew louder by the day. That's d3mon. At first it overwhelms the mind, but grows inside humans like a cancer. Dubois tried to exorcise the demon, but he was too late. The demon will control his body to do heinous things. Finally he decided to lock himself in a box to protect the lives of the people in his life. But the creator of the box betrayed him because he wanted a child who was never given by God, so he let go of the demon and made a deal with him. 6 victims were given to him and the first deal was executed. The creator of the box got the reward, namely a boy. In the middle of the conversation, suddenly a bell rang, after Edgar saw that it was Stacy who wanted to meet Edgar. Olga again said that this is never easy, but a great reward requires great sacrifice. Long story short, when Stacy was looking for Edgar downstairs, suddenly he appeared and silenced Stacy's mouth from behind. Edgar took her to the barn and tied her there to be sacrificed to the demon. Edgar says he knows what Stacy is doing behind his back. But now he realized that Stacy wasn't the one he needed to share everything with. Then he said goodbye and left Stacy with the box. The 3rd sacrifice has been achieved. Now Edgar needs 2 more people to sacrifice. The scene changes to Janet and Amy, who are talking about Edgar. They didn't realize that Edgar was outside eavesdropping on their conversation. Janet said that a few years ago Edgar was really screwed and he started complaining to Janet when he came back from America. Edgar told about his past. He said that at that time he was 12 years old and he could not stand to see his mother always beaten by his drunkard father. Then he killed his father with the bottle of drink his father drank. After that, Olga framed his uncle as a suspect in the murder and they fled from America. Janet adds that Amy doesn't need to be afraid of Edgar because she thinks he's nothing more than a mama's boy. She also says some bad things about Edgar which really offends Edgar. After that, while Amy was cleaning the dining table, Edgar secretly put a pill into Amy's drinking water which made her feel sick. Amy says that she wants to go home but Edgar won't let her. Then he called the doctor to check on Amy's health. The doctor said that she was on drugs but Amy denied it because she had never used drugs so far. Hearing that the doctor was silent, then he gave a name card to Amy and left her room. After that, Edgar got angry with the doctor because he didn't give her the medicine that Edgar used before to make Amy sick. It turned out that before entering Amy's room, Edgar had told the doctor to give the wrong medicine so that Amy's health worsened, but luckily the doctor didn't do it. Then when he was about to leave the place, he saw that the gate was not open. Then he came back to open it. He walked to the back of the house to look for the opening pedal, but what he found was the box. Edgar pushed him into the room, making him the 4th victim. After that, Edgar was even more amazed to see Olga's development because now she can walk without the help of a cane. Olga says that they have to finish this soon and leave that place before someone finds out about their evil deeds. Edgar agreed and said that he would finish it tonight. Then night fell. Janet came to Amy's room and told her that she suspected that Edgar had malicious intentions towards Amy. That afternoon she saw Edgar give a lot of money to the doctor to give a medicine for Amy. Then Amy said that she was thinking the same thing, because the key to the gate that Amy had been holding all this time was now gone. Amy suspects that Edgar has taken the key after he didn't give her permission to go home. Then they split up to find the key. They intended to get out of the house together. But unfortunately, it seems that luck is not on Janet's side because she meets the demon in the basement and she dies as the next victim. Meanwhile, Amy still hasn't found the gate key, so she goes to the basement to look for Janet. But when she got there, she found a piece of Janet's hand that scared her. She runs from there but she sees Edgar looking for her. She tried to stay calm, then locked Edgar in her room. Amy continued her search for the key to another room and she managed to find it. But when she was about to leave, suddenly Olga appeared in front of her and stabbed her in the stomach with a knife. Then Amy snatched the knife from her and stabbed it in Olga's stomach. Olga fell in pain, then Amy approached her and stabbed her repeatedly until she died. Edgar, who was still cooped up in the room, panicked at his mother's screams. Knowing Olga was dead, Amy immediately left from there. She tries to leave the house but the door is locked. Suddenly the lights went out and there was a terrible sound. It turned out to be the voice of the demon who was looking for the last victim. Then Amy ran from there and out of the house through the other door. Meanwhile, Edgar, who had managed to get out of Amy's room, went straight to Olga's room. But when he got there he found his mother was dead, covered in blood. Edgar cries and apologizes to her as he couldn't save her. Outside, Amy is still trying to reach the gate but she is stopped by the demon who is trying to kill her. Then Amy took out the knife she was carrying and stabbed it in the demon's chest. The demon became weak and released Amy. Then Amy hurriedly crawled out of the gate and asked for help from people who happened to pass in front of her. Meanwhile, the demon returns to the house and kills Edgar as his final victim and the movie ends. Subscribe and like to help this channel grow. Thanks for watching.